Flames of hell! Burn, Chibi! Burn!
Diao Chan,
Liu Bei.
I will fight for love, and I will win. Forward!
Mine!
Cao Cao, you're mine!
Let's begin to record here. Beginning to record here. Middle mouse. Okay. Controller settings, other settings, controller settings, other settings, controller settings, other settings. Real quickly before I start, I can do this, and while I'm technically starting, you can probably see. I think if you turn screen mode off, you set to the native resolution of the PlayStation 2, which doesn't actually fix any of the issues that occur with certain games, such as Kessen II. Okay, so hello there. Welcome, I'm Relictai, and I cannot get out of that menu. I am now out of that menu. This is Kessen II, PlayStation 2 game. My Avermedia was doing something weird for a second there. This is a continuation of the tests that I've been running with Avermedia, which means that, I think we could see the date in the I said middle mouse, didn't I? I think, PS button thingy, Bob. No, you can't see the date here. Well, it's like October 29th or October 30th. I don't actually know the date. Let me check my computer. It's the 30th. Okay. So, anyway, been incredibly dated game. Anyway, this is Kessen II, PlayStation 2 game, part of my Avermedia testing. Let's get that out of the way now. So, I figured this would be a great game to record. A, because I like the game, and B, because it's brighter than a lot of other games. So even if Avermedia, decides, oh, I hate you, and I want to make your brightness settings suck, it won't really matter for this particular game. Because this particular game is just more bright than normal, than other games. So it shouldn't be as big of a deal. It might still be a big deal. I don't know. Skip through that real quick. Let me change my options settings because I believe there are subtitles and I need those on. So before we get into the game here, let me explain just a little bit here. Kessen II, like the original Kessen, it's about, it's kind of a more tactical game than, say, Dynasty Warriors, because in Dynasty Warriors, where you control one person, in Kessen games, you control an entire army with individual units, and you make them, you essentially make them fight. You command them where to go, and they'll engage the enemy. And you don't really have much more control than that, other than when to use certain special abilities, which we'll get into later. But some things as well before we get in. Kessen II is based off of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms novels, but it's a kind of a more unique take on it. For instance, Diao Chan is given the mandate of heaven, and if you knew anything about that, Diao Chan would actually be dead by the time the mandate is kind of moving around, because Diao Chan gets killed with Liu Bei when Zhao Zhao beats them both. Other things that are kind of important to say about Kessen is the storyline is driven by Liu Bei and Diao Chan's love rather than by the normal sources of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms series, which was more of just everybody trying to end the chaos. Although Zhao Zhao's storyline in this game is him trying to end the chaos, essentially. And you can play both storylines, both Zhao Zhao and Liu Bei, but you have to do Liu Bei first, and then you do Zhao Zhao, and it's interesting because then you see it like what you just experienced, but through Zhao Zhao's eyes, and it's an interesting story. I don't know if I'm gonna play through the entire campaign, or if I'm going to play through like Zhao Zhao's campaign, but essentially it's great because Zhao Zhao is still trying to just fix the world, fix China essentially, and Liu Bei just misunderstands everything, and it's hilarious. Some other things, there's just a lot of ground, like a lot of things that aren't quite 100% true, and I think I'll mention a couple of them as we go in, but like nothing super big comes to mind right now. Um, there are a lot of fictional characters in this game, and a lot of fictional events as well. There's magic in this game, which has never been in a Kessen game. Kessen 1 didn't have magic, it had cannons, and Kessen 1 was very straightforward in the sense that there wasn't too much you had to do as a player. And a lot of stuff would just be handled on its own, as well as that's really it. Just a lot of stuff would be handled on its own. In this game, you have to handle a lot of things. There was no magic in Kessen 1, which adds a different layer, which will be seen in this game. There was no aiming, an aiming mechanic kind of thing. Kessen 1 had if you say used a tactic, it would just go. In this game, if you use a tactic, you have to aim where the tactics are going to take place, and you want to hit as many enemy units as you can. So that kind of stuff is in this game. Well, let's start, because I don't really have anything else in particular to say until after we go.
All things are yin or yang, created from two essences. The world of men is ruled by the mandate of heaven's will. When the mandate is absent, kingdoms collapse and a turbulent age begins. Calming this disharmony is the mission of the one who is chosen by the mandate. The sun is setting on the Han Empire, which has reveled in 400 years of prosperity. Throughout the land, catastrophes abound. Rebellions multiply. The divine rule falls. Thus begins the turbulent age of rival warlords. The child emperor, lacking both the power and the experience to manage royal affairs, entrusts the imperial seal, the symbol of the mandate, to one woman. Fate now calls forth a new hero.
Troops! All my loyal troops, rally to me!
This is Liu Bei, the lord of a small province, in whose heart no evil dwells. He is my love.
My lord, I am at your service. Now!
You saved us. You have my gratitude.
This is Cao Cao, disciplined and decisive. Once an officer of the Empire, he raised a personal army in search of world domination. After the battle, Liu Bei throws a banquet to honor Cao Cao for having saved his life.
We would have died without your help, my friend. Ah, Diao Chan. Truly, all I want to do is live in peace. Live with you, Diao Chan.
True love, how very sweet.
Hey! Bring more drinks for Lord Cao Cao! Drink up, my friend.
Liu Bei, indifferent to world domination. Cao Cao thinks of nothing else. A fragile truce between two men who could never really be friends. Their brief encounter foretold the tragedy to come.
Heaven is beyond grasp. The woman of destiny brings ruin.
Commanded by the priestess, I also witnessed Cao Cao's oracle. When I heard its pronouncement, I shook with fear, for I felt that what I saw before was confirmed. A secret I could not even tell Liu Bei. Only months later, Cao Cao threw in his lot with the priestess and took up arms against us. To kidnap me. No, to kidnap the secret I held so close.
Let me go! No!
No! Let her go! Diao Chan! Mei Mei! Mei Mei! Mei Mei! Brother!
Liu Bei,
Diao Chan!
I was taken. Liu Bei barely escaped the capital with his life. Others were not so fortunate. There was a rainbow that day as well. Yes, that was the root of it all. The long, drawn-out war between two arch-rivals, Liu Bei and Cao Cao.
After Cao Cao's sudden attack and kidnapping of Diao Chan from the capital, Liu Bei is narrowly able to escape to his own land of Zhu. Cao Cao, sensing the opportunity to seize the Zhu province, orders his vassal, the fierce general Xiahou Yuan, to attack. Xiahou Yuan's army approaches, yet Liu Bei has not yet decided whether he will engage in war with Cao Cao.
Brother! Cao Cao's forces are getting too close to us. Come on, let's attack them first.
The envoy we sent to Cao Cao was murdered in cold blood. Why in the world should we wait?
Cao Cao, why did you betray me? Why are you attacking?
This is an
Didn't you
internal
break
monologue.
bread and drink to friendship?
Brother, don't you want to rescue Diao Chan? We can't let this Cao Cao get away with this. I'm going. I only live to take revenge for Mei Mei.
Don't you know how many good men have died to get you this far? When will you start fighting back?
Brother, I can see my words won't convince you. If you're still in doubt, ask them!
Lord Liu Bei, we will fight for you!
Listen! I have one desire. Diao Chan. We must fight a battle to save her. And there will not be a single night's peace until we have won the war. Knowing what that means, what awaits you? Do you still want Liu Bei to lead you into battle? I say give it our all!
I too want to save Diao Chan! Lord Liu Bei, we will fight for you! And now?
A war. I will meet Cao Cao. It is done. Let the battle begin!
And now, mandatory tutorial. You have to do the tutorial. You don't get a choice in the matter. Which is a shame.
Liu Bei, the general is you. Come on. Give Guan Yu and Jingfei some directions. But wait, since this is your first battle, you should concentrate on your own unit. In this battle, all you have to do is take down the enemy general, Xiahou Yuan. He is somewhere on this huge battlefield. Advance a bit and find him.
I'm not sure if it's actually pronounced Zhu or Shu. I don't truly know. I think it's... I want to say it's Shu, though. But Zhu. I don't know. Let me think here. Some things that I want to talk about. Mei Sanniang, obviously, fictional character. In this game, she's the friend of Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Jingfei. This is after the Peach Garden. The Grey Troops are canonically in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Their Grey Troops are canonically Lu Bu's men in most Dynasty Warriors. His color changes to black later on, I think. But in most cases he was gray, as was Kong Rong and a few other, like the minor warlords. They used Grey Troops as well. Liu Zhang in this game uses Grey Troops. But who knows who they are fighting in that beginning thing. Zhao Zhao, motivated not by greed, even though Dynasty Warriors popularly portrayed him as that, as well as most games that make him be the bad guy. Zhao Zhao, it's actually widely thought of, he was probably an extremely just gentleman whose primary motivation was probably just to end the chaos and make China stable and, you know, not war-torn. What else is there right off the bat? Zhao Zhao was in fact a member of the Han, and he helped quell numerous uprisings. He worked to help take care of the Yellow Turban Rebellion, as well as defeat Dong Zhuo, the tyrant. Liu Bei also took part in both of those to assist. Zhao Zhao would then go on to abduct the child emperor. Not really abduct him. Dong Zhuo abducted him first, and Zhao Zhao saved him. The child emperor then asked Zhao Zhao to be his guardian, but Zhao Zhao abused this position. which isn't really that big of a deal because the Chat Emperor was a retard and was pretty terrible. So nothing wrong there. What else happens canically? Nothing else really that important. We'll get into more things later on, I guess. The Mandate of Heaven. I don't know if that's actually... I don't know what it's called in Dynasty Warriors, but that is a thing that's popular in the Remnants of the Kingdom series. It's either like the Mandate of Heaven or the Seal or something like that. Let's see. Deng Zhuo had it. After Deng Zhuo was defeated, it's found in a well in Luoyang by Sun Jian, who then gives it to his son Sun Ce. Sun Ce sells it to Yuan Shu for troops. Yuan Shu then declares himself emperor with the seal. I think it is the Seal of Heaven or something like that. And pretty much that's what starts the coalition to stop Yuan Shu, and Yuan Shu gets murdered. And I don't know where it ends up after that, because it's kind of dropped off as a plot device after that, but it likely does end up in Cao Cao's hands after the coalition drops Yuan Shu. Or it ends up back with the emperor, the child emperor, who was forced to abdicate in favor of Zhao Pi, after Zhao Pi takes over Wei, when Cao Cao's dead. What else occurs? What else do I need to get off here in this lovely time period? Not sure if you can hear it, but there is some background noise. I don't know if you can hear that. This game hasn't transitioned well from PS2 to PS3. As you can see, there's a little bit of tearing. I would say graphical tearing. Would that be the right word? There's just like weird black holes, I guess, in the picture. It's strange. So it hasn't aged that well, and certainly hasn't been ported that well. But it's still a fun game, I would assume. I remember the game being great. Right now, what we can see here is 5,540. That is Liu Bei's troop number. Below that, that bar, the morale of the unit. If that depletes, the unit will break and flee, meaning that it's just defeated. The formation, the five white squares, 3 in the back, 2 in the front, that's his formation. That's what the current squad makeup is. And the bar above that, Liu and Zhao, green to red, just shows who's in charge of the battle, who has the advantage. Right now, we do, because the only officers on the field would be Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Li Dian, and Yu Jin, and Xiahou Yuan. Those are the only officers on the field currently. We'll talk more in a little bit. Now, I don't think you can actually... I think you can only go straight in this game, so if you want to turn and run, you actually have to turn first, then run. It's a strange little form of thing. You can see Zhang Fei in the distance there moving.
But I am sure that you already know. As a general, you have to position everyone on the battlefield. I'd be happy to show you the best way for you to do this.
Thank you for the tutorial. That is completely stupid, but
Look,
we'll go through with it.
What's going on with everyone on the battlefield, and you can see where Guan Yu and Zhang Fei are positioned, right?
I would if you would allow me to do other things. This is the battle map. It's the overall map. You'll probably hear me call it the overworld like 20 times. And L2, can I please use L2? Thank you, I like L2. Just let you see everything on the field. And as you can see, there's Guan Yu and there's Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei has 3 fictional daughters in this game. There's Mei Mei, who is the eldest, who died, Lulu, and Lili. Lulu and Lili are still in his unit. They will pretty much always, I think with only one exception, and that's only in Cao Cao's campaign, they're pretty much always in Zhang Fei's unit assigned to him. So I like to focus on Zhang Fei as a guy to get most of the experience in the early goings, just because it benefits him, who's a tank. He's an absolute beast on the field, as well as his 2 daughters, since they're always his subordinate officers. Liu Bei will usually have Mei Sanniang as a subordinate officer. Guan Yu will usually have Guan Ping and Zhao Kang as his subordinate officers, and I think later on he'll get Fa Zhang maybe. I don't know if that one's true though. That might be a lie. But sometimes they throw like really weird officers into different units. It's a strange game every now and then. Sometimes you get some really strange combinations of people, which is fun. I like it. Keeps it fresh. Now then, I don't remember what I was supposed to do in this menu screen. I'm probably supposed to go back now.
Then let's find Xiahou Yuan.
Oh boy. Yes, and then it teaches you how to use this, which you're literally not allowed to use until it tells you how to use it. The tutorial is wonderful. It forces you to learn. I can't auto-move yet until I'm allowed to set my overall path.
I'm the one in your nightmare.
There's Zhang Fei. Probably the greatest character in the game, both in stat and just hilarity. He's a funny guy. But Jingfei has always been a great character in the Dynasty Warriors series.
Charge! Red hair! Trample anyone in our way!
For some reason, Guan Yu's spear in this game is called the Black Dragon. It's actually
Liu Bei,
Blue Dragon.
You should change your battle formations. If you want to find the enemy right away, then ring is a good one.
And now they force you to change formations. And then they'll just change it back anyway, so it's not even going to matter. Our current formation is apparently Carp. Which, the strange thing is, Carp and Goose are almost the same thing. They just have a shifted line, essentially. There's no real difference between them. They'll try to say, like, one's better for arrows and crap. No, there's virtually no difference between them. Flat, just a straight line. You just rush people. Flat's really only good if you're using a spear unit or a horse unit. Formation doesn't really matter anyway in this game, because once the battle starts, your troops will endeavor to try and remain in a kind of formation, but likely once tactics start getting thrown around and officers start moving around, the formation's just going to go to hell. Ring is only a good formation for scouting simply because it is a spaced out unit and it allows for a wider line of sight. And the game is forcing me to change to ring currently. When you do change formation, it kind of takes a little bit of time, so you can't be like doing it in a jam. I think if you do it in a jam, it'll still count, but it's like, you know, if you're trying to run away from somebody, it's certainly not helpful.
We've won here. It's ours, brother.
Forgive me, I lost. This never happened before.
Of course it has, Li Dian. You suck. Green is Liu Bei, red Zhao Zhao. Okay, cool. Thank you for showing us that. That little bit that comes up, that'll occasionally... I don't know if that comes up every time an officer is defeated, or just if you're not there. But Guan Yu just eliminated Li Dian's unit.
So there, drinks for everyone.
And Zhang Fei just eliminated Yu Jin's unit, although for some reason
Now it's up to us, Liu Bei.
Yu Jin didn't have anything to say, and I think Himiko is showing up now.
What you doing, idiot?
Please forgive me, but we have lost this battle.
Do I really have to? These guys are cake.
Himiko is a magician. She uses magic
Looks
and she
like fresh enemy
flies.
units have arrived. You'd better find Xiahou Yuan soon.
Zhang Fei's scouts have located Xiahou Yuan's unit.
Convenience. But magicians are kind of weird, and they sort of, once spells start happening, it kind of devalues the game, because it's embarrassing.
Zhang Fei
I'll
has
just say
found
that.
Xiahou Yuan.
All of the jokes were made at this game's spellcasting.
Look, it's Xiahou Yuan's unit.
Oh man, I didn't even notice without the name tag there. Xiahou Yuan, oh my god. And the yellow is obviously your scout range. Wow. Thank you, Gabe.
Yes, okay, let's use mortar.
Now, mortar is not a real ability. Mortar is a special ability, quote unquote. It can only be like it's a type of ability that's in its own genre. It's only used
Release.
It's only used in certain battles. Like, these are abilities that only get shown up in certain battles, and that happen automatically without the player telling you to do them. Zhuge Liang in like the last battle will use arbalists, so there's that. Or maybe it's mortar. I don't know.
Yeah!
Everyone was picking on my daughters. They'll pay for that.
Hurry!
Right.
We've got to take down Xiahou Yuan. There's one more way you should learn to move a unit, so listen closely. You'll need to know it for moving the unit long distances, so remember it.
I already know it. You go into the overworld and, yeah, alright, game's gonna make me do it. Oh, I hit the wrong button and it was all like, eh. This is how you'll normally move a unit. In this battle, you can't go after Himiko or anything. She's about 8,000 troops versus Guan Yu. I could actually win that battle because Guan Yu is a tank and can pretty much beat any single unit. Same with Jingfei. Jingfei would totally crush Xiahou Yuan, by the way, in this particular battle. He has the numbers advantage, and he has a tactical advantage. He has more tactics than Xiahou Yuan. He's also stronger than Xiahou Yuan. But we'll automatically be warped there in a little bit. This is how you move, whenever you set a movement like that, your unit will automatically move. So you don't have to sit here and press buttons. And instead you can play around with the lovely little camera, or you can go manage a different unit. In this particular battle, we're not allowed to go touch any other units. We have to just sit here and follow Liu Bei around like a lost puppy, which is very sad. Liu Bei's base unit is a foot. We're about to get shown a spell, I think. Prepare for the hilarity that is the spells. Himiko's isn't quite as bad as Mei Sanniang's. Mei Sanniang looks like an absolute idiot whenever she does spells. Your own abilities can't hurt your own troops. Can't hurt your own troops, but yeah, that's just it. They can't hurt your own troops. They'll interact with them, but they can't hurt them.
Show what you're made of.
Xiahou Yuan's challenging Jingfei to a duel. Xiahou Yuan, spoiler alert, wins this duel, which is unrealistic, because everybody knows Jingfei would crush him.
I had too much to drink.
That was one of the lamer duels. There are several sets of duels.
Did you expect me to really lose to the likes of you?
Whoa! If you lose a duel, nothing happens. You just lose morale. If you win a duel, nothing happens. You just gain morale. Like that's all that goes on there.
If you are willing to die, then you will never lose. Today's a bitter drink.
I can't believe Zhang lost. Liu Bei, hurry!
Yeah, so duels are just great for dropping your enemy's morale very fast. And as you can see, the game just adjusted my formation on its own. I don't know if you noticed it, because the troops aren't actually switching formation currently, but it just changed to a line formation. A flat formation, actually. And we're right in front of Xiahou Yuan, so there's about to be a fight here. Himiko will use Fissure sometime here in a bit.
Don't give up. Take a stand and fight.
Get a good taste of Xiahou Yuan.
In my original PlayStation 2 copy, after he said that, she repeated, "They just don't give up. Take a stand and fight."
Liu Bei. You have to take down Xiahou Yuan.
Can I finish saying what I was going to talk about earlier? Okay, Liu Bei's base unit is a footman, because Liu Bei is the commander of this particular army. 4 of his squadrons are footmen. If Mei Sanniang wasn't here, her squadron would be replaced with a footman squadron. But because Mei Sanniang's base unit is a horseman, and she's a subordinate commander of Liu Bei, one of his squadrons is a horse unit. There. Finally got to finish that. God damn. Alright, you start in a bird's eye view. You can then click officers and join in. You can actually control the officer. I'm not going to, because I think anything you do means nothing. Essentially, you can't interact. I mean, you can like hit people and stuff, and it's kind of hilarious, and you can break some things up, and sometimes you'll see me, I'll need to do it. But for the most part, I won't interact with my officer because it doesn't do damage to the enemy. So there's no point. If the officer is being controlled by the AI, every hit he does will do damage. so it's more efficient that way. As you can see, there's little green things above Xiahou Yuan's name, also Liu Bei, and then a different colored one over Mei Sanniang. The green ones are standard abilities, normal things, not magic. Xiahou Yuan has 4 abilities, as we can see. One of them is Grayed Out. The Grayed Out one is, you guessed it, Duel. He also knows Charge, Raid, and Rally. Liu Bei, on the other hand, always starts off with a Rally. That's the only thing he knows currently. Mei Sanniang, her thing is a different color. That's because it's magic. She knows Meteor Shower. And yeah. I'm glad I got that out of the way. And Liu Bei is automatically attacking. Currently, I do not wish to control him. Every time a normal troop is hit...
Are you going by yourself? I know that you want to look good, but you had better call some of your men to help you.
Every time a normal unit is hit, so not Xiahou Yuan in this case, like that guy beside him to his right, well actually it'd be to his left, but to the right, our right of him. Every time one of them are hit, one of those guys are hit, the troop number will decrease. If enough troops die in a short period of time, your morale will drop slightly. If enough troops are, if your army kills enough men in a short period of time, your morale will increase slightly. But because the game penalizes you for losing troops more than it does for victory, your morale will pretty much always have a net loss kind of deal. If an officer is hit successfully, you'll see he's blocking currently. He's blocked something. If an officer is hit successfully, the morale drops, but the troop number does not, because there's only one officer as opposed to 3,000 some troops, and if the officer gets hit, it's just like, oh no, yeah. Now, this is an interesting feature of the game. You can summon troops around you. If you do this, and then you charge them, you'll do damage. Liu Bei looks like an idiot when he does it, but all officers do. This is useful if you're trying to get people together for a tactic, because the actual tactic charge, it also does some decent damage, but I mean, for the most part, I'm not going to do that. The tactic charge does rely on how many men of yours are around, so you need to keep that in mind. And sometimes you'll need to do, that kind of thing and get your men together. Also, in this game, if your men are fighting close together,
That Xiahou Yuan has something up his sleeve.
I hate tutorials. Oh look, Xiahou Yuan's charging.
Charge and lay down your lives.
He's using the actual tactic charge. He isn't just telling his men to gather and go.
His attack
Okay.
has unsettled our men. Now is the time
Oh,
to
no.
tell everyone why you're the general and take control of
Can
this
you-
confusion.
I hate you so much. I really do. Yay, confusion. If you hit X fast, sometimes they'll recover. X is also the attack button. So, everybody out of my way. I'm attacking here. They should be recovering here soon, but this takes a long time
I
to
see
get
you've
your men
managed
to
calm them down.
fall out of
Guess we can't
confusion.
underestimate Xiahou Yuan. But look,
While in
I'll use
confusion,
my magic to get back at them.
shut up. While in confusion, your troops do not block, so they take more damage and they lose more morale faster. What else is there about this that I need to specify? There was something else I was going to say, but because she keeps fucking interrupting me with this tutorial nonsense that I can't skip, this unskippable nonsense that is a tutorial, I can't go into some of the more in-depth things that I need to talk about, which is lovely, not? So now they want me to change control to Mei Sanniang, so let me just hop on over to her. Oh, there she is.
Let's see how Xiahou Yuan likes one of my meteor showers.
And now we gotta use our first tactic, Meteor Shower. Oh look, Field of Effect. This is where I was talking about aiming. You can move it all around, and you're just supposed to get as many units as possible in the game. And now I remember what I was gonna talk about, the backup effect. You see these lights? These lights aren't representative of how much health a unit has left, or at least I don't believe they are. There's this thing called a backup effect. If units fight really closely together, they gain a certain amount of strength for doing so. If units are not together, they aren't nearly as effective. So keep that in mind. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But for now, I need to hit as many people as possible with this thing. Alright. She looks like an absolute idiot whenever she does magic. Yep, there you go. All of the jokes could be made. But none will. Now, there's still a bit of luck involved in tactics after you pick a spot and drop them on them. Because enemy troops are still moving while they're doing stuff, so they could move out of the radius of your tactic.
Hold your position.
They could move out of the radius of your tactic, or they could, you know...
Oh, the enemy is very stubborn. It's your turn, Liu Bei, to show some of your strength.
Or you could just miss. Tactics will come back, and they'll come back much faster if you're sitting near a supply depot. I don't know what they're actually called in this game, but I'm pretty sure they're called something like supply depot. And now this should be fissure from Himiko. They're just trying to show a little bit about the game. Like, they're just trying to show you some of the tactics and things. But it's really annoying to a player who's already played like 8 times, 9 times, more than that maybe. I know all this crap, you know. Like, I don't need to see it and be forced to experience it. And you don't ever get a chance to skip it, no matter how many times you play. I don't believe you ever get a chance to skip it. Your troops, as you can see, can't be affected by your tactics. Her men are adopting a defensive form, which just means that they can't fall in the fissure, and they take no damage from it. She's floating ominously above it with a shield around her. Mage characters will have these weird shield things around them. They can't really be affected by things. Although her men are running towards it, that's a myth. They aren't actually taking damage. It's just kind of doing that because it likes to lie to you. Also, I believe this game is lying to you in the sense that it's allowing her to do tactics when I'm not present on the field. In later chapters, I'm not sure if this is truthful or not, but I'm pretty sure the enemy can't do a tactic unless you're actually watching that particular battle.
Sweet.
What's going on there? But I never lose.
So I think
Piece of cake. We've as good as won.
What? Guan Yu has lost as well? This cannot go on, Liu Bei.
I hate everything about you.
Captain of the Han Imperial Bodyguard, Xiahou Yuan! I fight for the Emperor's royal clan and Lord Liu Bei! What? The Emperor's clan? I don't know what you're talking about. But I can always use another ally. I am grateful, Xiahou Yuan.
In reality, Zhao Yun first served Kong Sun Zane and then Yuan Shao and then joined Liu Bei after, just because he saw how virtuous Liu Bei was. I can't do anything until Zhao Yun joins the fight. There we go. He's hopped in and he's attacking Xiahou Yuan with me, so now we gotta see the split. Xiahou Yuan... I wanted to pause before I do anything. Xiahou Yuan, if you're attacked by 2 people or more, I can't do anything at all. What the hell? Oh, because it wants me to raid. Got it. If you're attacked by multiple units, you're going to split up and fight them. In this case, Xiahou Yuan's main unit and 2 others have stayed to fight Liu Bei. Your main unit will always stay to fight whoever you first engaged. So Xiahou Yuan and his 2 are still fighting Liu Bei. The other 2 squads, his 4th and 5th squad, have went out to meet Zhao Yun. This significantly lowers the backup effect that I mentioned earlier, as your team is no longer fighting together. They're much less effective. So even a smaller group, let's say me and Zhao Yun together, Liu Bei and Zhao Yun together had less than 2,300 troops, we'd still beat Xiahou Yuan just off of the fact that our men are together and his are not. Like, our groups are together and his are not. Hopefully that made sense. Now it's going to force me to use raid, and it's not even going to let me choose where to do it at. The game's just going to auto it. But I can move Zhao Yun after he does it, and I just whacked 2 of my men, but you essentially just damage whoever you hit. And it's really hard to control this character for some reason. Why is he being uncooperative? I should probably use the analog stick. Oh, I gotta hit those. Damn it. They were all together. I could have hit them. But, yeah. Alright, the tutorial will finally be over. The battle is going to end really fast because the enemy is in confusion. They're attacked by multiple people. The fight's going to be over here in just a second. I don't really have anything else to say currently. Other than don't be attacked by multiple people and then be hit by a tactic that confuses your men. As you can see, it really hurts. I think the lowest I've ever gotten him down to is like 284 or something like that. But I don't know. You can never really get to 0 troops in this game. Your morale will always deplete before then, which is crazy. Unlike the original Kessen, where you could actually have a unit fight to the last. This game doesn't feature that. In the normal Kessen, if a unit was defeated, there was a chance, like, not if they got to 0 troops, but if their morale depleted, there was a chance in that game that they would just back off and regroup. This game doesn't have that, unfortunately. That was a feature I really liked. It was always interesting to see a unit with only like 300 men back off and, you know, regain like a couple hundred of them and then get back into the fight. This game also doesn't feature units acting independently or betraying their faction. Like in Kessen 1, let's say a unit had a personal rivalry against another one, they might just make a beeline straight for that guy immediately upon starting the game. Be like, you know what, I'm gonna go kill him. I'm gonna go fight him. So this game doesn't feature that. This game also features extreme. I mean, I still like it, but you guys probably not. Liu Bei is doing nothing right now, by the way. But he was just running around like an idiot. I love that. But the mop-ups are kind of... We've won! The mop-ups are kind of a little bit boring. Especially in like the later game. If you completely just destroy the other faction, it can get really boring really fast. Because there can just be like 8 of your officers and 1 of theirs. And it's like, well, what do I do now? It can be pretty lame. But, I mean... And also, if you bust all of your tactics in like the first 10 minutes of a game and you have nothing to do, it can get pretty boring as well. But I like watching the little animations. They amuse me.
They drove off Cao Cao's onslaught in just the merest heartbeat. So there, I guess my eyes were not deceiving me.
I have no clue who he's talking to or addressing in that.
Send a messenger to Diao Chan.
I don't understand. I've never understood that either from Yujin, but he's just like, oh!
Well done, men. Victory is ours.
Yay, we've done it.
Brothers, we've won!
Yes! Why stop? Let's attack that scum Cao Cao's camp!
Not just yet. First of all, we track down Diao Chan. After that, we can fight.
And is this the cutscene? No, this is the we've done stuff.
This really gives us the upper hand.
That is a weird noise in the background. Alright, after every battle you gain a certain amount of essentially just spoils kind of thing. Your group improves every battle. Doesn't matter because Zhao Zhao will always stay ahead of you because he's, you know, supposed to be stronger than you after all. What else is gonna happen here? Aha! There we go. All officers who survive the battle have gained experience. So it's important to keep people, even if they might not, like, let's say I only had the 500 troops left in Liu Bei's unit. Well, in Liu Bei, you'd have to keep alive anyway, because he's the commander and you'll automatically lose. But let's say Guan Yu only had 500 troops. You know, it's more beneficial to have Guan Yu back off than to have him continue fighting, just because he'll gain experience that way. Officers also gain experience for every defeated enemy. So it's good to pick people that you really like and whose advancements you know are strong and solid to have defeat enemy officers. So certain characters I might just forsake, is what I'm saying here.
By the way, I have taken a promising young man into my family. Will you meet with him?
Periodically the game will introduce specific characters to you.
I am more than happy to join your army. My father and I are honored to serve
In reality, Guan Ping was the adopted son of Guan Yu. He was actually Guan Ding's son, but was adopted by Guan Yu. And this is a cutscene.
Liu Bei, can you hear me? Liu Bei?
Diao Chan! Diao Chan!
Liu Bei!
Diao Chan, I was so worried about you.
I knew it. Oh, I knew you would look in the crystal.
Where are you? Tell me.
I don't know. I'm kept locked inside of here. Although, I suspect it's the capital.
The capital.
Liu Bei, I feel very...
Diao Chan, are you all right?
Liu Bei?
Diao Chan, what happened? Are you all right? Diao Chan! Mei Sanniang, bring her image back, I beg you!
I cannot. The sorceress has blocked the power of the crystal. It will only work again when she has been defeated once and for all. Then her strength will wane. But I'm afraid until then...
Himiko is a real character as well. She's fake in the sense that in Romance of the Three Kingdoms she's never mentioned, but in reality Himiko is a queen of Japan, I believe, like a Japanese queen or something like that, or Korean, I don't know. But she's based loosely on a real character in history, that's all I know. I gotta tell you, there are some very strange characters that are going to be showing up in this game. Yu Jin is one of them, Yu with without the E, Jin. He's effeminate. We'll leave it at that. But he's a strange cat. A very hilarious but strange cat. Zhao Zhao's company has a lot of pretty cool characters, but Liu Bei's company has Zhang Fei and the greatest character of all time, Yu Ying. But we won't get to see her until I think the fourth battle, I think, after the fourth battle. She's not an actual fighter, but she shows up periodically in the storyline. So that's fun. Our next fight will happen next episode, though, because I see that I'm running at 50 minutes. So that's a little bit longer than I anticipated. And yeah, a lot of exposition. We only got done with the tutorial. 50 minutes, because I waste too much time blabbing on about mindless garbage that doesn't matter, that people don't care about. Yep. Alright. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time, but I could understand if that was a no, because I waste your time. Alright. I can't end this recording. Where the hell is my recording button?